me, Unapologetically T, and I got one more poem for you today. Get into it. Trigger one. Most of my poems come from trauma, so if it triggers you, you got some work to do. And there's nothing wrong with that because we all do. So this one is called Healing to Do, ironically. So let me get into it. Alright. I grew up where the saying family is family was a way to excuse abuse through the bloodline. Then when I grew up, my family looked at me funny because I was addicted to domineering personalities and all forms of pain. Chasing who could hurt me the most, I thought it was love just the same. I grew up with addiction, drugging and drinking, yelling, cussing, and fussing. Not even wanting to come home some days, so I stayed in after school. I grew up with touching was wrong, but who would believe you? Like a father wouldn't dare, or a mother was to blame, but it's impossible for her to be present everywhere. So defenses go up, and I'm just making it up. Family secrets stay secrets, touching continued by others, then graduated to forced penetration in my adult years. I just learned to accept it. Even continued a relationship with one of my abusers who didn't even give me the option of consent. One drunken blackout night, he chose for me. I continued to see him because I blamed myself, and he knew how to make me feel good. I know it's really sick and twisted, but remember I was trained and conditioned. Then one day it clicked that what he had did wasn't right, and how at an early age I had learned to depend on and love my predators. I grew up where I heard how beautiful I was, and then I had that awkward chubby phase around 9 or 10. I was warned I was getting too big, and then by 12 my shape began to develop. I heard how I was shaped like an old school glass Coke bottle, small waist, wide hips, and thick thighs. I was a child in a woman's body. In the mirror, I saw me as a broken little girl that simply didn't value me. So I would go into my adult years having body dysmorphia, clinging closely to all the negative things that I hated about me. I grew up constantly hearing how smart I was, how I was going to be something special. It was confusing to me because I felt like an ordinary person. As an adult, I always viewed myself as a fraud, like one of these people gonna see me and see that this is not the place or opportunity for me. I grew up with unconditional loyalty and trust. If you were my friend, that meant something to me because I always felt disconnected from family, and none of my siblings liked me. I would pick good friends, and then there were those who picked me because I was accustomed to relinquishing my power. I would let them take advantage of me. I grew up loving things that were broken. It mended parts of me. It didn't matter whether it was a man or an animal. I would jump in to rescue it. My romantic partners came dismantled. It was almost like a project for me. My family would look at me funny, nose turned down, like why would I choose that for me? But if they paid close attention and listened very carefully, they had ingrained this in me. They were my first example of what love and relationships would be. I learned to accept abuse in many forms. I attracted the best liars, manipulators, predators, and creeps, the broken and hurt and confused. I felt if I could save them, maybe there was hope for me. I grew up loving my abusers. I actually became my number one critic, always guilting, shaming, and neglecting me. Until one day it clicked. When a part of me died, that this couldn't continue. I woke up like Sleeping Beauty, but there was no Prince Charming, just me. I realized I had some unlearning to do and ties to cut, like an explorer with a machete in the forest. The ties were so thick, deep rooted and stubborn, so I set fire to them instead. Watching them burn gave me great satisfaction because I knew they couldn't bother me. I had a few choice words, then I let go, not forgetting but forgiving because we all got some healing to do. If you are expecting your abusers to free you from suffering, they have you right where they want you to be. Instead, just free yourself. You can blame all day long, but don't get stuck there. Just make sure you love you enough to never repeat the cycle, and that's when you know you have won.